Right, we're on. I left that a long blank bit at the end, didn't I? Anyway, never mind. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Welcome to episode 123 of Magnificent Mondays, and this week we're going to break down and review Cowboys and Aliens, the extended director's cut from 2011. A decent flick, much better than the theatrical version, which I didn't like. But then when the extended version came out, I watched that. I thought, this is like a different film. But anyway, so that's what we're doing tonight. It's not perfect, but any stretch of the imagination, there are big, not plot holes, but things that make you think, huh? Because Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci and Damon Lindelof were involved, so that explains that, doesn't it? Anywho, but before we get going, by the way, I apologise for being late. I'm an hour late, aren't I? Because it's just been a busy day again. But we're up and running. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Well, I'm on YouTube and Rumble, not doing Twitch anymore. I have cast that aside for now. Explore the description. Where are we? There we go. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch, which I forgot to put on. Never mind. And my books, Amazon Kindle and paperback, and my other channels, my other websites, my social medias, Spotify, and all that stuff. And become a member, and you get exclusive content and early access content or whatever. And emojis in the chat. Join us in the live chat if you've been a subscriber for more than a day. And that's about it, isn't it? I think that's about it. So, right. So, off we go. Cowboys and Aliens from 2011, directed by Jon Favreau, of Iron Man fame and The Mandalorian and other things, Elf, etc. Based on a graphic novel, who's by some bloke who I can't remember his name. I've forgotten. Just let me check. Scott Mitchell Rosenberg, based on the graphic novel Cowboys and Aliens by Scott Mitchell Rosenberg. The original screen story by Mark Fergus Hawk Osby, who's still got a cool name, who are more famous now for The Expanse. That's what they're most famous for now. And Steve Odekirk. I think, was it Steve Odekirk that did Thumb Wars and all those other thumb things? Are they still on YouTube? I don't know, but they were funny. I think they wrote more of a comedy, but they decided to go in a different direction, then brought Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman, Damon Lindelof aboard, who did a rewrite of the script and added some stuff and all that, and probably added all the nonsensical stuff that makes you go, huh? But anyway. But that's by the by. Produced by Brian Grazer, Ron Howard, Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orci, Steven Spielberg, and Scott Mitchell Rosenberg. Stars Daniel Craig, James Bond himself. I think he'd done 2 Bond films before he did this. Harrison Ford, Olivia Wilde, Sam Rockwell, Adam Beach, Paul. Is it Dano or Dano? I never know how to pronounce it. Noah Ringer, and some. Brendan Wayne, he's in it as well, and a few other folk. And a cool musical, a great Western musical score from Harry Gregson Williams. It had a budget of $163 million, which sounds a lot. And it didn't do well at the box office. I think it lost money. It says here box office 174 million, so yes, it lost money. And it didn't do very well because the theatrical version was rubbish. So, but I don't know if it's gained a cult following since. I don't know, but anyway, what does this say down here? I'm on Wikipedia, by the way, at the moment. I've just seen here infringement lawsuit. What does this say? Oh, pardon me. Claimed some bloke, Stephen John Busty, filed a lawsuit claiming copyright infringement. Busty claimed he wrote a preview for his story, Cowboys and Aliens, in 1994, which was published in the April 1995 issue of Bizarre Fantasy. Oh, right, fair enough. Did he win? No, it was dismissed. No, he didn't win. Fair enough. And that's about it. I'll just check it. I'll just notice that. Right, so what does this say? Accolades. What accolades did it win? It received 5 nominations at the 39th Annie Awards, which I've never heard of. Must be an animated thing. Film was nominated in animated effects in a live-action production, but lost to Transformers: Dark of the Moon. What else? It didn't get any, Academy Award nominations. But Harrison Ford received a Saturn Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. He's really good in this, I must admit. And Justin's here, yay! Saying hello, everyone. Apologies for being late. As I said, a busy day, and I had to watch this bloody film twice, which I didn't get to do. For some reason, my PlayStation 5 won't play the Blu-ray, so I put it in my Xbox, and that played it, and I started watching it with the commentary by Jon Favreau, which were okay, it were fine, and got about 2/3 of the way through the film, and it just stopped playing, and it would not play again. Took the disc out, give it a clean and everything, but it just stopped at the same point every time, and I don't know why. So I think it's a duff disc. So never mind. So I watched it on my computer, but without the commentary. So that's one reason why I'm late. But another reason, I've been busy doing stuff. Right, so let's get on with it, shall we? We're not going to watch the film because YouTube will go mental and stop the stream and all that stuff. So we're going to go through it in a series of stills. I'll try and remember what I have learned from what I heard of the commentary and the behind-the-scenes stuff that's on the discs. And I've also got some notes as well. Right, so I'll put myself down in the corner and we shall begin. We're going to watch it. Did I say we're going to watch it in a series of stills? Did I say that? I'm saying it again. Is it that one? Nope. I keep picking the wrong one, don't I? There we go. Right, where are you? There we go. Add to stage. Right, we're off. We're off and running. There we go. The good old univoical loigoi. Off we go. Right. It's a DreamWorks film as well. Apparently DreamWorks, this is their third, graphic novel adaptation. Are you allowed to call them comics? Their third comic adaptation after, I've forgotten, Road to Perdition, which also had Daniel Craig in it, oddly enough. And there were another one, I can't remember. Is it in my notes? It might be, it might not, I don't know. Let's have a look. Yes, Road to Perdition and Over the Hedge, which I've not seen and I don't know if I've even heard of. Anyway. And Winggrace is here. What's that doing there? Go away. I wanna be a cowboy, baby. I'm sure that's a reference to, I don't know, a song. I don't know, but I'm sure it's a reference that's gone way over my head. Off we go. Right. I always remember, by the way, remember the Jurassic Park game for the PS1? I think it was Jurassic World game. This kid gets got, doesn't he, by raptors. Anyway. It's a song. Yeah. Probably some pop song, popular music. I don't know. Right, off we go. I'm just doing the Imagine Entertainment, which is Ron Howard's production company. Right, off we go. KO Paper Products. Are they the publisher of the graphic novel? I'm guessing maybe they are. I don't know, but I don't know who they are. Right, we begin. It begins very like the trailer to Force Awakens. Daniel Craig just sits up because we're just panning across a lovely landscape. I forgot where it was filmed, near Santa Fe, I think. Hang on. Santa Fe, New Mexico, and California. It was filmed in, and yes, and Universal Studios for the town. So yeah, it looks like it was filmed entirely on location. It can't have been because there's some that there must be sets because they get inside an alien spaceship. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, so it pans across this gorgeous western landscape, and then Daniel Craig sits up suddenly, panting, much like we saw in the. It just reminded me of the Force Awakens trailer where Finn sits up, doesn't he? But that was J.J. Abrams, and this is Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci in it, who were Abrams' acolytes. So anyway, whatever. This came out before that. Anyway, so he looks around because it's Daniel Craig, so he's always looking round. Even when he's doing stuff, he's always looking round. And apparently he's counting in his head. That's a trick, apparently, that actors do if they're not doing anything, if they're not doing any dialogue, and they've just got to look around to look as though they've got things going on inside, the count or the simple arithmetic in the heads, 2 + 2 = 4 or whatever, in the heads, to make it look as though they're thinking about stuff. That's what he does. He does it a lot, does Daniel Craig. Anyway, right, so he sits up, obviously confused, and then we see that he's got an injury. There we go, looks down, he's got an injury there. And then he sees, oh, what's this? He's got something on his wrist, something made of metal. And he can't get it off until he needs to get it off, if you know what I mean. The metal thing. It's basically his ruby slippers. It's his ruby slippers. Anyway, he can't get it off, so there goes. He's having a prod about with it, and he can't get it off. Then he finds a photo next to him in the sand. It doesn't explain why this is there. I don't think it does anyway. We'll have to see. I might have missed it. I don't know how he's got that, but anyway, whatever. It's a photo that we learn. I think he's going to show it. There we go. Of his wife, but he doesn't know that. By the way, he's got amnesia. He doesn't know anything. Doesn't even know his own name. The only thing he knows is English. He says later on, but turns out that's his wife, played by Abigail Spencer, who also does the screams in the film. If you hear any women screaming, it's Abigail Spencer. Apparently, she's a really good screamer, according to Jon Favreau. Right, so he picks up a rock and he tries to smash the thing off with a rock. And am I remembering rightly? In the extended version, he just stops hitting it because he gets interrupted by some blokes coming. But in the theatrical version, does the rock break? Or am I thinking of something else? Am I thinking of a different film? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, it doesn't break. He can't get it off. There he goes, trying to smash it off. Look. Then some people appear out of focus. And with a dog that is in the rest of the film. And it's just called Dog, I think. Anyway, they arrive and they encircle him. And we see that they're not nice people. It's actually, we see, look, the scalpers. They've got some been out scalping engines. Anyway, they are actually a father and son acting group. When it shows them, they're the sons. This is the dad. I can't remember his name. So I'll tell you in a minute when I go down this list and see if I can find it. If I can believe. Where are they? Where is it? Why are they not there? Because remember, in the commentary, Jon Favreau was telling us all about them. And I can't remember what name he gave them. Why are they not here? Unless they're not credited. They should be, because they've got dialogue, so they must be credited. Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. Where the hell are they? Well, they're not in the cast list. Let me scroll down. Oh, there we go. Buck Taylor. That's him, Buck Taylor. They must be in order of appearance, maybe. Yeah, they are. They're in order of appearance. So this is Buck Taylor and his two sons. I don't know which is which. Matthew Taylor and Cooper Taylor. Apparently, Buck Taylor's the son of a famous cowboy actor. I don't know, but that's who he is. Right, that's it. Anyway, so they decide they're going to take him in. They say he's got iron on him, so they must think these are some sort of shackles or something. So say, maybe there's a bounty on him. A lot of that going on. So they decide they're going to take him in, but he takes them all out. Quick as a flash, look. Takes them all out. Well, in a flurry of activity. Now then, is this Daniel Craig's stuntman or is this Daniel Craig? Let's go through it a frame at a time. I want to see. It looks like Daniel Craig, doesn't it? Do you think they did a bit of face replacement? Or did Daniel Craig actually dive over this horse and take out this man? It must be Daniel Craig's stuntman. Maybe he looks a lot like him. I don't know. Anyway, and then he beats him to a pulp. Jon Favreau says this scene almost got him an R rating. It's a PG-13, by the way. What's that in English? a 12 certificate. Almost got him an R rating, apparently, maybe because of the violence and the MPAA, I think it was at the time, or MPA, whatever it's called now, actually had to have a vote on it, which apparently they don't do very often. So they give it a PG-13. They let this one slide, probably because we don't actually see him beating the fella's face in, but it's covered in blood, look. So he's taken out these people who are obviously not nice chaps, and he steals their clothes and a horse and their shoes and their guns and their chaps. and off he goes. Oh, and here he's listening to the gun, listening to the action, because, you know, he knows his stuff. Speaking of people who know their stuff about guns and things, Melvin from Quest is here. Am I late? No, you're not. I've only just started. I'm late today, so everything's hunky-dory. Justin says, Wingrave's bringing an old school song out tonight. Apparently so. I have no idea what song it is. Oh, dear. Right, so something about I want to be a cowboy baby. I don't know how it goes. I don't know it. Or maybe I do, but I just don't know the lyric. Anyway, whatever. Right, so here he is checking the action, and he puts it in his holster, and off he goes with the dog. So their dog, now it's his dog. So off he goes. We get titles, opening credits, and Jon Favreau said, pardon me, this might be the first film he's done that's got opening credits. All the other films he's done previously didn't have them. They had them at the end. So anyway, so here we go. It's nice to see credits at the beginning of a film, isn't it? And by the way, it's a great score, by the way. We'll play a little bit of the score, as it, I think it might be from here. It's a good Western score. Oh, pizza. If you could hear it. Western score. Stop playing. There we go. Because I'll get a copyright claim. I've probably got one already now for that. No, it still says we're okay. We will see if one pops up. Anyway, right, so he's heading into town. Gotta get into town. Walton Goggins, yes, he's in it as well. I forgot about Walton Goggins. He's in it as well. One of my favourite actors. I think he's great as Walton Goggins. Right, so here he comes into the town. Do we know what it's called? I don't know. We'll call it Perfection. I don't know if it is. Does it say? Let's have a look on the plot. Does it tell us what the town is called? Oh, Absolution is the town. It's called Absolution. I told you he knows his stuff. 1836 cult. Dear. And I bet he just knows that. He hasn't looked it up or anything as Quest. He just knows it. You can tell. It's the city of Townsville. See, I know that reference. It's Powerpuff Girls. I know that one. Speak his name and he appears. Okay. Right, so where were we? He's heading into the town of Absolution. Because he's going to find his absolution in this town. And some other characters do as well, I suppose you could say. Maybe, I don't know. But, right, so in he goes. Into town. And remember, he's injured. He's got, he thinks it's a bullet wound. Ooh, look at that name there. Boo! Boo, throw tomatoes at your telly. Or computer screen. Or wherever you're watching this on. Or your phone. By the way, I was tempted to do the vertical, the horizontal and vertical to try it. I might try it next week. We'll see. See what it turns out like. Where were we? Right, so he's in town now, and he's going to break into this building here. I don't know if he knows what it is. It turns out it's a church or a chapel or something like that. But he doesn't break in, the door's unlocked, he just goes in. So I don't know why he's picked this particular building. By the way, there's the John Ford shot. There he goes, there comes in. Somebody framed in the doorway, that's the John Ford, the searchers and all that. Steven Spielberg was a producer on this film. Made the crew watch, well, he didn't make them, he screened The Searchers and Close Encounters of the Third Kind for them. And there's a credit as well that Jon Favreau's really proud of. It might be one before this one. Let's go back. No, keep going. Keep going. Lots of producers. There we go. Executive producers Steven Spielberg and Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau said that was a high point of his career up to then. And maybe it still is, I don't know. I like how the camera says Teeve at Old Yorkshire Geek. Does it? Oh, it does. It's because of the border in it. Hang on, I'll move it over a bit. Just bear with me. Won't we? We're on that. I'll have to edit it, won't I? Move us over a bit. There we go. Save. Update layout. Right, there we go. Sorted. I hadn't noticed, to be completely honest. But everything's okay now. Right, okay, right. Where were we? Thank you for pointing that out, Melvin. Thank you. I shall forever be known as Teeve. Anyway, where were we? I was breaking into this. Not breaking into. Entering this building. And he's going to have a wash and try and sort himself out. So there he is. He has a look at his. Has a swig of some booze. And then he rips open his shirt. And I think, why is he ripping it open? Look, he just rips his shirt open. And I don't. Why don't you just roll it up? It's not exactly, why don't you just roll it up? He's just ruined his shirt for no reason. It's because he's tough, innit? Wonder how long it's been like that. Forever, more than likely. So there we go. We see he's got some weird injury. Apparently it's all cauterised. We're learning a bit, but anyway, so he's seen to that. But then he feels a gun in his ear. There we go. And this is where we're introduced to Clancy Brown as the preacher. Meacham is his name. Yes, it's barely a flesh wound, but it needs stitching up, which does happen in a minute. So he's the town preacher, and a great character because it's Clancy Brown, and Clancy Brown never plays a bad character, does he? As far as I know, I've never seen him in anything that I thought he was rubbish in, and this is no exception. So anyway, so there was leads him in there. We go see it's a chapel. He's the town preacher. And he looks after him. He sees to him, and it's all nice. He sees a nice fella, but don't take no BS. So he's going to stitch him up. There we go. So take a swig on that booze, and I'll stitch you up. And he says, "Oh, that's not a bullet wound. It's all flesh is all cauterized." So he pours some booze on it and stitches him up. There he is. Off we go. Oh, and he's asking, "Is this a mining town?" And he says yes, but a lot of people have moved on because there's no gold anymore. Remember that gold? That's the main point of the film. Is gold. So anyway, so there we go. Oh, we also learn there's no memory left. As I said earlier on, he's got amnesia, so he's telling him now he can't remember anything apart from English. So anyway, so there we go. So he's all sorted, and then in a minute, oh there we go, gunshots, pew. There we go. So they go out and they find it's Percy Dollarhide. There he is, played by Paul. Is it Dano or Dano? I don't know, but anyway, Paul What's his face, who played, I've forgotten, the Riddler, didn't he, in the Batman? I'm sure he's done loads of other stuff as well. As Percy Dollarhide, who's like a spoiled young punk. He's the son of Woodrow Dollarhide, the Harrison Ford character. Anyway, so he's shooting up the town because he's, thinks he can do what he wants. And here's Sam Rockwell as Doc, who also runs the local saloon. Not miners. Miners, not miners. You've lost me. And that's a Galaxy Quest reference. So he's standing up to... So he's basically a bully as well, because he's got all his goons with him. So he starts picking on Doc, who is a man of peace. There's Adam Beach as, I've forgotten, Nathaniel, I think his name is, Nat, whatever. Let me check. Nat Colorado, cool name. who was also one of Dollarhide's, is Dollarhide's adoptive son. Dollarhide raised him. He found him as a young boy, as a Native American, Apache, and he raised him. But anyway, look, you can buy some butternut squash. I think that's what they are, isn't it? Some carrots and some spuds, which I've used all of those today, apart from the butternut squash. I've made a big pan of stew. Anyway, where were we? Right, so he's picking on Doc now. He knocks his glasses off, and then Preacher comes rushing out, say, "Come on now, calm it down, calm down," he says. So he's escalating the situation. He's Percy. He's asking the townsfolk for money for the Doc, because the Doc said, you always come, you never pay. You come in, drink my booze, and never pay, and all that. So anyway, so he goes up to Daniel Craig, who gives him a knee in the groin, like that. Anyway, as things are going to escalate again, he pulls a gun on him, and then for some reason, I'm not sure what happens here. He's pointing a gun at him, and then for some reason he points his gun away from him, but shoots somebody. This fella, who it turns out is a deputy, even though he doesn't have a badge on. Maybe he's off duty, I don't know. And then he goes, "Where did he come from?" And I thought, what? What you look at? I know. I'm guessing it was just an accident, but I don't know. So now he's in trouble because he's actually shot somebody. Now I'm guessing he's never actually shot anybody. He just causes trouble. He's not a particularly bad person. He's just, a bit of a spoiled brat who thinks he can do what he wants because he's the son of the most powerful man in town. Melanie says, "Beryllium spheres to power the quantum flux drive. Wonder if they have them in the quantum drive in Orville." I don't know. Maybe so. Where were we? Oh, yes. Anyway, the sheriff arrives. Here he is, played by Keith Carradine, or Carradine, along with Brendan Wayne, who does Brendan Wayne play? I can't remember the name of his character. Brendan Wayne, where are you? Charlie Lyle, here he is. Right. The grandson of John Wayne, and essentially the Mandalorian. That's who he plays, Brendan Wayne. I think he played him a couple of times in seasons 1 and 2, and I think basically he played the Mandalorian the whole time in season 3. With the voice by Pedro Pascal. Anyway, here he is in an acting role. They arrive and say, "Oh, you're in big trouble now, Percy. You've actually shot somebody, so I'm going to have to take you in. You're going to have to go in the cells." So, anyway. So thinking, his Dollarhide's goons are going to start trouble, but Nat says, I'll tell your father what's happened. So they all leave town. So troubles are coming, but just not yet. And then we cut to they're watching them go, and then we cut to some men looking after some cattle, some steers, I suppose they are. I don't know. These are Dollarhide's men, because Dollarhide is in the cattle business. Because when the gold dried up, Dollarhide became the richest man in town because of all his cattle. And these men were sent out to round up, some stray steers or whatever you call it. But this fella's always drunk. These are telling him. I think that's Wyatt Russell. I think maybe. Let's have a look. See what it says. Yes, it is Little Mickey, played by Wyatt Russell. I thought it was. Yeah, you can tell from the side, can't you? Anyway, where were we? This fella's new and he's drinking on the job, and they're saying, the boss don't like us drinking on the job, and he's like being tough. I'll tell high and mighty Colonel Dollarhide will just wear the shove his good damn job and all that. So that's what he's doing, thinking he's tough. There we go. So now he's going to go for a dump in the river, which apparently is the Rio Grande, apparently. According to John Favreau, so he's going to have a dump. But before he can get down to business, there's a big explosion and he gets blown into the river. And they actually did that to the actor. What was the name of the actor? I've forgotten already. Gavin Grazer. Is he related to the producer? Whose name I've forgotten. Where is he? Brian Grazer. Is related to him? I don't know. But anyway, he's been blown into the water. And they actually did it with with them air cannons. They blew him into the river, which they said were fun. And while he's in the water, we can hear all this noise and these lights and stuff, and there's all explosions going off. So something's happening that we don't see because we're from his point of view. And when he finally clambers out, we see carnage. There we go. We see dead cows and stuff on fire, but which none of this is real. They did actually have it there on set. They had like dead cow puppets or whatever, and a few fires, but they said it looked rubbish. It looked rubbish on when they filmed it, so they got ILM to make it look better. So there we go. That's all a visual effect. Anyway, so there we go. It's all burned, and the two men, Wyatt Russell and the other fella, have disappeared. So meanwhile, back at town, we see they've got. I forgot his name already. Percy in the cells, and they were saying, "You shot a deputy, Percy. You're gonna have to see the state marshal." There we go, federal marshal, whatever. You've too many law enforcement agencies in America, even back then. And there they are. Oh, hang on, where is it? There we go. They're seeing to this fella who apparently were a deputy, even though he didn't have a badge. But never mind. Right. So anyway, he sees on the bulletin board. $1,000 wanted dead or alive for Jake Lonergan, scourge of the territories. Oh, no, read this. Age 37, height 5 feet 10 inches, weight 175 pounds, lighter hair, blue eyes, and strong features. He's wanted for arson, assault, banditry, forgery, blackmail, and hijacking. His band of desperados robbed the Southern Pacific Railroad last month of $600 in coin and gold dust. That gold dust from the wrestling. Known accomplices in the robbery include Creek Johnson, no relation, and Bull McCade. Immediately, you know what I wanted to do that. I want to scroll down. Contact US Master's office. Anyway, he takes the poster off, and then we see somebody familiar underneath. In a minute, off a Pete's sake. There we go. And then we see John Favreau is the other fella, still at large. Todd Kravitz, wanted for theft. So that's the John Favreau cameo in the film. Does he have cameos in all of his films? I wonder. I don't know. Anyway, right in the bar. Here we see that Doc is a bit self-conscious because he's not, as I said, he's not a violent man. He thinks of himself as a bit of a wimp, and I suppose he is a bit. But he don't understand why his glamorous wife, there she is, stays with him. But she loves him and all that. Says they don't need to prove anything to me, and he's a bit uffy with her. And anyway, but Jake comes in. We don't. By the way, we call him Jake from now on because that's what the poster says his name is, Jake Lonergan, and that is who he is, but he don't know it yet. He's going in for a drink. And there we see Olivia Wilde. We saw her earlier on. She was watching the altercation with Percy earlier on as Ella. Spoilers. Turns out she's an alien as well. Blummy number. Although I don't think we see her true form. But she has taken human form. Wearing... Oh, where is it? Where is she? Why she disappeared now? There we go. Wearing a dress that were originally designed for the True Grit film. Not the original one with John Wayne, the new version, which I don't think I've seen. But apparently were designed by... Because the woman that did the costumes for True Grit did this film. And so she's reused the dress. Because it was supposed to be for the lead... I can't remember the name of the lead female character in True Grit. I've forgotten. I've seen it, the original. And it was for her, but they said it was too nice or something like that. So they've stuck it on Olivia Wilde instead. So here she is. He thinks obviously she's some sort of saloon hooker or whatever, but she just wants to know about his bracelet, and he says he doesn't remember anything. Blah blah blah. But so he's just having a drink, and now he knows that somebody's coming in the saloon without looking. Apparently, Jon Favreau based this on Seven Samurai, a film I've never seen. Apparently, there's a scene in that where there's one of the samurai knows that there's somebody there without looking, like some heightened senses that they've got. So he knows that they're coming in for him. Apparently he really plays his violin, by the way. He's a real violin player, or fiddle player, or whatever you want to call it. Because there's in the behind the scenes, he were playing away, and Jon Favreau were on like a ukulele. Oh dear. Anyway. So it says, Jake Lonergan taking you in and all that. Just come to the office and we'll have a chat. And he says, you got the wrong man. Anyway, so he's going to end up in a fight. There we go. Psh, boom, beating him up because, he's like blooming John Wick, isn't he? He gets shot at. Drops more stuff. Because, he's knocking guns out of people's hands and stuff. And anyway, he gets the upper hand. There we go. He gets the upper hand on him. He says, I don't want no trouble. By the way, he's putting on an American accent. By the way, he's not. Doesn't sound like James Bond. And he doesn't sound like me either. He's not saying "don't want no trouble." But then Olivia Wilde knocks him out. Pistol whips him. There we go. Knocks him out, and so now he's in custody. Then we have his first flashback. Jake starts to get his memories start to come back. This is where we see his wife. She looks over at him, looking a little strained with a veiny forehead. There are reasons for this, because she just starts moving. I don't know if she does it in this. Does she? No. We see, a homestead, and then a vision of some shape, and then people with white eyes, and then is this where she starts twitching? It's not showing it yet. Must be next time. And then he wakes up in jail with Percy spitting at him because he's incorrigible. But anyway, so Percy knocks out Percy. Doing. Poor Percy. I mean, he's an idiot. He deserves everything he gets. But like I say, technically, he's not really a bad kid. He's just, like I say, he's a bit of an idiot and spoiled and thinks he can say anything. But by the end, he's a changed man. Anyway, so here we go. So he's. Tim Rose is here. Tim Rose is here. So this film is underrated. I think it is a little bit. Yes, it's not the best film ever, but it is a decent flick. It is a decent flick, especially the director's cut. The theatrical version I wasn't a fan of, but the director's cut is very good. When does everyone start getting paid by Brent Spiner? Are we in a fistful of daters now? Is that what we're in? I don't like that episode. Anyway. Right, so there he is, so he's in jail. And then we cut to... Oh, pardon me, burping. Then we cut to... This is the fella that survived the attack earlier on. Now he's roped up between two horses. He's going to get his... they go, please, I didn't kill your cattle. So we get introduced to Woodrow Dollarhide, played by Harrison Ford, and starring Harrison Ford. Special guest star. There he is. And he says to him, Colonel, I didn't take your cattle. He says, no. Nobody calls me Colonel anymore, only those that are dead, or something like that. Says, what did you do with them? Two hands are missing and all that. He says, I don't know, there were just lights and explosions and I don't know what happened. So, anyway. So he lets him go. He says, there were lights. He says, there would be no storm or anything. So anyway, he cuts him down. Then Nat arrives and tells him, Percy's in trouble, he shot a deputy, sheriff's got him in jail. So I've got to go deal with that. There we go. There we go. Cuts this fella down. I forgot his name. Was it Ed? I've forgotten. Says thank you, but then he hits the horse and he goes drags him. So does he die now? Is that the end of him, or does it just drag him a bit and then stop and he's fine? I don't know. We don't see him again. Maybe he's just going, and maybe he's the only. I don't know. Anyway, right. So they're gonna ride into town, but they're gonna take them to the federal marshal in, I don't know, Santa Fe or whatever it is. So they're putting the cuffs on him and getting ready. They've got the showing him that you're Jake Lonergan, you are honest. But, I'll treat you right, but if you try and run, I'll put the bullet in you. So out they come. Into the set, which is one of these standing sets. It's been in loads of films, apparently. It's in Santa Fe, and it's a well-used Western set. They were putting him in the armoured stagecoach. She's saying, I'm sorry, but I couldn't let you leave. Says, well, I'm leaving now. Says, she tells him something. I forgot that. I need to know where you came from. Says, I don't know. Can't remember. Right, so, anyway, so they're getting ready to take him away. This is, there we go. That's Noah Ringer. Apparently we're in The Last Airbender. I don't know, I've never seen it. But he plays the sheriff's grandson. So there we go. And they say, why are you staying here? Because your mum's buried here and all that. I can't leave my little girls. That's why they're still in town. Anyway, so here comes Dollarhide and his gang. So we get a bit of foreshadowing for what's going to happen in a few minutes. But here they are with their burning torches. So they say the S is going to hit the fan soon. I want my boy, John. My impression of Harrison Ford. I know it doesn't sound like that. Anyway, so here we go. We've also learned that Jake Lonergan stole Dollarhide's gold bullion. There we go. So they don't get on. Anyway, the dog barks and we see something approacheth. There we go. More lights. So is this more riders heading into town? But these seem a bit higher up. Maybe they're coming down the mountain. I don't know. Sorry, Melvin. Did you know, says Melvin, the US Marshals were created in 1789. There were only 13 marshals appointed by George Washington and became the United States Marshal Service in 1969. Is it 1969? Sounds a bit like 1869. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Very good, very good. A font of knowledge is Melvin. Anyway, these other lights are appearing, and then some of this stuff I don't really understand. I'm guessing it looks cool. I don't know, but not the logic behind it. But they're all watching. Ooh, look, lights. It's supposed to be like Close Encounters a bit, I suppose, isn't it? But the lights get closer and closer, and then they just go out. Any second now. Here we go. We'll go back a bit. The lights go out and then reappear as blue lights. There we go. Obviously, some sort of flying craft. And all this is practical, by the way. All this is practical. They had big lighting rigs and stuff, shining these lasers down. I'm not really sure what's going on. Stuff's blowing up. I don't know what's blowing up, but stuff's blowing up. And the only visual effect part of it is in some of the explosions they put like a bit of a blue. There we go, like that blue flashy bits in. But the rest of it's all practical on set, even the lasers and stuff. So, right. So we see people being grabbed. Hang on, is it doing it yet? Is it going to do it yet? No, not yet. So these spaceships, they're not spaceships, these flying craft are flying over. And, here we go. We're going to see, there we go. she's going to get grabbed. They're basically being roped. They're being, lassoed because it's a western, isn't it? There's somebody else going there as well. I don't know how many they can carry. How many people they can carry? We know at least one, because we see it later on. What they do with them, but not quite hog-tied, but a little bit maybe. And the horses have got out of the corral, so they're running through town, and the stagecoach were knocked over, and have I missed a bit? Oh, yes. Jake says to Percy, "Give me your hand, I can get us out of here." And then he breaks his hand so he can get his hand out of the cuffs, the shackles. There we go. Bone cracks. So that's how he gets them out. But they're still stuck in there. They can't get out. But then the thing on his hand, which had started beeping, the thing on his wrist, his bracelet, started. I don't know. I don't understand why. It starts beeping and the light comes on it, and it never explains why. But it does it when the aliens are near, and I don't know why, because it's their technology. But anyway, whatever. There we go, and now it's activated now and showed up some sort of heads-up display. There we go. He's looking round, and he uses it. There we go, to blow a hole in the coach, to blow the door off. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. And yes, that's what he does. He steals somebody's hat, I don't know, and a gun, and so anyway, Harrison Ford comes. "Come on, Percy, get out of there, Percy." Says, "I can't, Pa." "You can't, you coward. Come on, I don't care." So anyway, so the whole town's blowing up and everything. The people. Then Percy gets grabbed. Oh no, Percy's being got. He says, "We gotta go." There's Nat, but anyway, so he's going to show what this thing can do now. There's another ship coming round, which I don't think has anybody. It hasn't. This one hasn't roped anybody, but it's powered by Tesla coils on the alien crafts. If you say so, Melvin. Dear. For some reason, when I read Tesla coils, the song from OMD popped in my head. Tesla girls. Anyway, that's how old I am. So he shoots the bugger like that, and it crashes. And we don't see what happens to the occupant. They do have occupants. One of the aliens is inside that, but I don't think we see it come out. But it does come out. I don't think I'm going through it slowly to see if we see it run out. No, we don't. I don't think we do. But it does get out. Maybe it beams out. Who knows? I don't think their technology is that good, though. Some of their technology is like Super Ace, and some of it's, seems very primitive, if you know what I mean. But anyway, whatever. So they've shot one down, and the others have sodded off. Oh, and that deactivates. Cool. I think the sound effect as well. Hang on, let's go back to it. Go back to the sound effect, which I think is the same sound effect as Iron Man's, what they call them, repulsors or whatever. I think it is. Obviously, Jon Favreau did the Iron Man films, didn't he, with the first two. Let's have a listen. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But that's what it says in the IMDb trivia. Anyway, so that's crashed. So they're all come out now. Quiet descends upon the town now. And saying, is anybody there? Is it dead? And yeah, it seems to be. Says, "Is my wife in there?" And said, "No." So that says there's been nobody. It's not roped anybody, because they'd be dead, wouldn't they, after it crashed? But, it's not like a what they call them, a dart from Stargate Atlantis. They don't beam their victims into the ship. They just hold on to them with their high-tech lassos. They must have the same alien tech from Independence Day. It only works when the ships arrive. Something like that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it switches on, because when I'm not. Is it their technology or is it Olivia Wilde's species technology? I don't think it tells us. But she knows how to work it. She knows how to operate it. We'll see later on in the film. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, woman screaming. Oh my! We hear Abigail Spencer scream, although it's not. She's playing somebody else. She's just using her voice because apparently she's a good screamer. Let's have a listen to her screaming. You got some lungs on her, haven't she? So this is where we learn that obviously whatever we're in there is out, and it's in this building, and it's getting some woman. And we hear gunshots, and then no! And then he sees Nat sees a footprint. There we go. Hang on, there we are. He sees a footprint, a weird alien footprint, and a drop of greeny blue, turquoise blood on the ground. Well, he says it's blood. He says it's bleeding. We've injured it. It's bleeding. And nobody says, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Nobody says that. But we ain't going to be able to track it in the dark because it's not a predator and it doesn't have glowing blood. So there we go. We set off at first light. Says, you're going with us. But he says he's got other ideas. And off he goes. Next day, he's heading out by himself. But not alone, because she's following him, is Ella. Does she ever have has she adopted the last name? I don't know. Let's have a look. Or is it just Ella? Where the hell is she? Oh no, Ella Swenson. Yeah, she has chosen a full name. Anyway, what's this? I think this is Nat speaking. I think. Oh no, it ain't. It's the preacher. Yes, I remember now. The preacher's talking to the townspeople, but kind of doing a sermon, and he's talking about when Moses sent spies into Canaan. When the Israelites had come out of Egypt, and he sent spies into Canaan. It was supposed to be the promised land, wasn't it? And they went and they saw giants, essentially, the Nephilim or whatever, and they were afraid and came back, and they were punished by God or something. So that's why the Israelites had to wander for another 40 years in the wilderness. But they're using that reference. There's a bit of ancient alien stuff going on in this film, and Jon Favreau, he owns up to it. He says, the aliens are kind of based on the Anunnaki because they've come for the gold, like the Anunnaki in Zecharia Sitchin's theories and stuff. They came to Earth for the gold and created the human race as a slave race to mine the gold. But they were a rebellion or whatever, or like a civil war, and they left. And left us to our own devices. Anyway, where were we? Right, so the dog's fine. We see that Doc is seen to the injured. And Jake is going to grab hold of her. There you go, grabs hold of her. What do you want? Why are you following me? Says, I forgot what she says. Says, yes, that's it. You know where they are. You can help me find them. They took my people too. That's what she's saying. And he says, stop following me. And he rides off. They are the ancient Goa'uld. Cause that was in 10,000 BC, wasn't it, that film? Which I always think of 10,000 BC as Stargate 0 or Stargate -1. But anyway, right. So they get ready to ride out, and Doc's gonna go with them, even though he doesn't know how to shoot a gun. But says, you're gonna need a doctor. Said they took my wife, and he's going as well. Is whatever the kid's called. I can't remember. What's he called? Where is he? Emmett Taggart is his name. He's going with the dog as well. So they're going as well. So off they go, and then Ella joins as well. There we go. Says, same, okay if I join up, and preacher says, well, you might as well. We've got a kid and a dog. We might as well have a woman too. Anyway, so off they go into the, the beautiful. Well, this isn't that, but off they go into the beautiful landscape. And it's very, John Ford, Howard Hawks sort of scenery, isn't it? Doc ain't Doc Holliday yet. It looks not like Val Kilmer. Was it Val Kilmer that played Doc Holliday? I think it was, it. Anyway, we get a curious shot here. I don't know if it's just a timing thing, or I don't know. Maybe the landscape beyond this line here is different. I don't know. But we see a stuntman. We do a Texas switch here. We see a stuntman here approacheth. I've pressed the wrong button. Sorry. The stuntman approacheth. Here he comes. It's not Daniel Craig. But then the camera sort of like pans to the left, and then Daniel Craig appears, and it says a Texas switch. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm guessing maybe is the landscape that we can't see. I don't know, beyond this dip, in this dip. Maybe it's different, or is it just a timing thing? I don't know. Is it further away than he looks, and then so he wouldn't have been able to get here? For this bit in time, I don't know, but it's a Texas switch. So now we get to Daniel Craig on a horse. It was Val Kilmer, God rest his soul. Yes. Anyway, so it's back. It's back at the homestead that we saw earlier on that he had a memory about. So he remembered where that is, hasn't he? Oh, pardon me. So there's another flashback, and we see his lovely wife there with some flowers. We know she likes flowers, wild flowers, which we see again at the end. It is referenced again at the end. Anyway, in he comes. There we go. Quite a long remembering part for him. This is where we learn this. He's done his last job, where they got the gold, some of Dollarhide's gold as well, and. Here we go. He throws it on the table. What's that? And it's there we go. Some gold coins. Says now we can. Just it's not going to do that stuff anymore. She says you'll have to send it back, take it back. It's blood money. I says I'm not taking it back. She's saying you got it by robbing and killing, but then the coins start rattling. There we go, and then they go all funky and start glowing and melting. And then go up into the ceiling, like that. And then the whole ceiling comes out. Because remember, these aliens, they must be able to smell the gold. I don't know. But they've arrived quickly. Why didn't they get it while he were on his horse riding there? I don't know. But because they wouldn't be able to do that. And the grabber, we see the alien lasso thing drag her out. And we presume it gets him as well, because then we cut to this. We see him in a cavern with white eyes, burning like fire. And then, do we get to see? No, we don't. So there we go. So he's remembered that now. So off he goes again, and now he's decided he's going to join them. He's going to join up with the posse. Is it a posse? I don't know. Oddly enough, posse. And I've got on my phone. I'm going to diverging now. On my phone, I've got a word game. I like doing word games and card games on my phone, like when I'm sat in the bog and stuff. And it won't accept posse. It's one of these where you have to make words. It's like a jumble of letters, and you have to make words up. It doesn't like posse. Posse. Perfectly fine word. I don't know why it doesn't accept it. Kind of annoys me. I can have poses, which is an anagram, but not posse. Anyway, Quest says it's those damn cyclones from Battlefield Earth at it again. Hey, little fella. It's a posse galore, because it's James Bond, yes. Anyway, where were we? I haven't said any who yet, have I don't think, apart from then. Right, so here he's going to join up. And, this fella's here. He's having a bit of a go at Doc, because everybody thinks Doc's a bit of a wimp. So he's having a bit of a go at Doc. So Preacher says, "On some advice, son. Get yourself a gun and learn how to shoot." Anyway, so here comes Jake. I'm joining up with you to get our people back. Right, so then suddenly it's raining. It's chucking it down. And cool scenery, by the way. The cinematography in this film is gorgeous. I think it is, anyway. I think it's really, really good. It's all raining. And they arrive at an upside-down paddle steamer. In a scene inspired by Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Remember that scene where they find the ship? The Cotopaxi, they find the ship in the middle of the Gobi Desert. That inspired this scene. So yeah, because we learned that they're like 500 miles from a river that could handle a paddle steam, like the Mississippi or whatever. But they said, well, whatever, we're going in because it's raining and we need to find somewhere dry. So in they go. There we go, 500 miles from any river big enough to hold it. And Doc says, I'm not going in there. So Harrison Ford says, suit yourself, sleep in the rain. Because that's my impression of Harrison Ford. Anyway, so in they go. By the way, they lost the tracks. The tracks had washed away in the rain remember they were following the tracks of the alien. And Nat says, I've lost the tracks, they've washed away. So they don't know where the alien is. It's in there, by the way. It's in there with them. So basically it's like the Poseidon Adventure in an upside-down ship, aren't they? But so they kind of all split up into little groups, find places to settle down. And so Preacher's going to teach Doc how to shoot. There we go, showing him his gun. And Josh Temple's here, yay! Never fear, Maddie's here, harpooner, and just stopping in to say hi before I head out. All right, well, thank you, and could have used your harpoon for these aliens. But have a good time wherever you're heading out to. I hope it's a productive journey. Cheers. Where were we? Right. So who's this? Is this? I can't tell. It's too dark. Is it Daniel Craig? I have no idea. Looks like it, doesn't it? Yes, it is. Checking out the place. And there's some of the others, lighting fires and all that stuff. By the way, Brendan Wayne were one of the chaps that got roped. We don't see him again till the end. Right, so there we go. They've got a fire going as Dollarhide and Nat and Emmett. Dollarhide's telling Emmett a story about when he was fighting in the Civil War or whatever. And excuse me. And Nat says, "Oh yes, I remember that story." And then Dollarhide kind of turns on him. He says, "You used to tell this story to Percy," and he says, "That was a story for my son." So obviously he doesn't recognise him. Doesn't recognise Nat as his son, even though he's kind of raised him, because he's an Indian. But anyway, he says, get out and go check on the horses or whatever. Anyway, he's eating is it an apple or is it a potato? He's eating something that he's cutting up. I think it's an apple. And he gives it to Emmett. Excuse me. And also gives him the knife, and we learn where he got the knife later on. Oh dear. By the way, I have no cats tonight. It's a cat-free zone. Princess is upstairs, and the other cat, he was on the windowsill. I thought he can stay out. So he gives him the knife, says, look after it, don't lose it, he says. Right, so where we are, we're back with Jake, I think. Oh no, we're watching Doc practicing his shooting. He's not very good. But anyway, there you go. You've got to have faith and all that stuff. Keep it around the target, blah, blah, blah. But he still misses. But spoilers, he shoots, saves the day later on. Meanwhile, Daniel Craig's got his shirt off. Sorry, I've gone a bit hoarse, haven't I? Got his shirt off. Because he thinks he's Captain Quincy Taggart, is it? I forgot his name now. Anyway, whatever. Quest says, I'm cat free too. Makes a change, doesn't it? It's because you're not doing a show. If you were doing a show, a stream, should have been there. Oh, he'd have been there, sorry. Anyway, so he's checking on his wound, but then he hears a noise, and here it's Ella in her underwear. I'm guessing they've got the wet clothes drying by a fire. I'm guessing, I don't know. What's he showing? Oh, yes, he's showing the photo of his wife. Who is she? And he says, somebody who can help me remember, or something like that. There we go. She's the only one who knows who I am, because obviously he doesn't. He's remembering her, but he obviously doesn't know her name or anything. Anyway, so they're having a moment. There's obviously, chemistry between them, but nothing's happening yet. Anyway, suddenly, I think, that's it. Yes, this thing starts beeping, like my watch there. Look, his step counter goes off, and they think, and then they see all these rats. Is it going to show it, for God's sake? Here we go. Oh, these rats come running in, and obviously the aliens there. There we go, it's behind them. We can see it there. Look, they're standing behind this fella. So it's going to take out these chaps. Too sweet. There we go. It takes them out. Too sweet. And apparently bullets don't hurt them until they hurt them. But never mind. They're impervious to our weapons until later on in the film when they're not. That said, there's bits in the film where you think, why now? I don't know. But anyway. There's the dog. The dog goes running off. It senses the alien. It goes running off to defend Emmett. And we think he gets killed. Spoilers, it doesn't get killed. But it goes running off, and then we hear it go, and we don't see it again for a while. There we go, dog whimpering. So we presume, we don't assume, we presume that the dog's cop for it. And then, so he's hiding out, is Emmett. And then we see, there we go, the alien's hand come down there. That's the film, that in reverse. Jon Favreau was super proud of this. The mechanical creature effects like these, the puppets and stuff, were done by Legacy Effects, which was the former Stan Winston Studios, and I still don't understand why they changed the name. I think I've mentioned it before. After Stan Winston died, the people that took over the studio decided they were going to take Stan Winston's name off it because, well, I think they wanted to go chart their own course now, but they still wanted to honour Stan Winston by calling it Legacy. Just call it Stan Winston Studios. Anyway, whatever. It's Legacy Effects now. They did this, and Jon Favreau he thought he'd come up with the idea. So we'll film it in reverse. The hand coming down. If you start with the hand on, and then just film taking it off, and then show it the other way around. It looks like it's deliberately grabbing hold, and it don't look kind of funky and puppety. And he thought he was really proud of it. He thought he'd come up with this amazing new technique and new effect. And they said at Legacy, oh yes, that's what we did in Aliens with James Cameron. We did that with the aliens in that. Melvin says weapons don't hurt them until the plot says so. Yes, exactly. Until it's necessary. Anyway, so there's the alien, and it's going to grab hold of him now. There it is. He thinks it's gone, but then it isn't, and it's this. We get his first good look at the alien. There we go. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but the weird aliens, they're a bit stupid, to be honest. But it's it's roaring at him. He drops his knife. Yes, he drops his knife. But and for some reason now, I don't understand why they've decided on this for these aliens, but it's because we need a weak spot, don't we? It all opens, his chest all opens up, and it's got these little funky little gooey arms that come out. Here they come, look. But behind them, you can see what we presume is its heart beating. You can hear it and see it go. And an obvious weak spot. So that's probably why they had him drop his knife so he couldn't stick it in. Spoilers, like he does at the end of the film. Anyway, they've got these little funky little arms that come out. I'm guessing these are supposed to be for when they're doing, delicate work. I'm guessing they haven't got the big claws that they're killing people with. But when they're doing delicate work, they use these little inner arms that come out. Anyway, and there's a scene at the end that is straight out of, remember the TV series War of the Worlds with Jared Martin and him from Predator, whose name I've forgotten. But there's a scene straight out of that. They just rip off stuff sometimes. But anyway, just like when two little proton torpedoes blowing up a massive space station. Yeah. But anyway, but not really. Anyway, where were we? Right, so it's having a good feel of him for some reason, but then Preacher arrives and shoots it, and obviously it doesn't do anything. He shoots it several times, and obviously it does nothing. Look, he just turns around and gets Preacher. Look, ah! And but then Jake arrives with his pistola, popping away at it. Ping, pong, look, nothing's happening. Raw. But then it sees he's got the gun, the wrist thing. Look, it's kicking off. Look. Look. So he shoots that at it and misses. And it goes scurrying off. Anyway, Preacher dies now. He says, how's the boy? He's fine. And he says, tells him, basically tells him you're a good man. He says God doesn't care what you were, only what you are. So then he dies. So quite sad actually, but because it's Clancy Brown. You don't see Clancy Brown dying, except when he's a baddie in a film. But so there we go. So that's the end of Preacher. So everybody's sad. They've buried him. Look, Doc and Jake have buried him. And they're getting ready to ride out, and nobody wants to say anything. They want to say some words over his grave, and they said, we buried him, didn't we? So Doc and Jake wait and say some words. There we go. Over the grave. Right. So anyway, off they go. This is where he's telling him where he got the knife from. Hang on, where are we? Another Tom did actually blow up the Death Star. They destroyed the cooling system, causing the reactor to overheat and explode as a result. Okie dokie. Thank you for that, Melvin. But it's not really relevant, is it, to this film? But anyway. But I see where you're coming from. I think. Right, so. It was built in anyway. It was Gale and Urso designed it so that it was like that, didn't it? So that's why it happened. Anyway, now what we're saying now? It's telling him how we got the knife. I can't remember how it comes about. But he's telling him how we got the knife, and he says something had happened and a man got trapped in a burning building or something like that, and they got him out, but it were all burnt and they were done for. And this way he's saying, the man looked up at me and he said, kill me. So he basically he took the man's knife, which is the one that is just given to Emmett, and slit his throat. So a mercy killing, that's what it was wanted. So that's what he's saying. So look after that knife, he's saying. Right, so they pick up the trail again now. It's stopped raining. Still bleeding is the alien. I don't know how, because they've shot it loads of times and apparently with no effect, but it's still bleeding from somewhere. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a natural excretion. Who knows? He got it from a man in Australia. Yeah, that's not a knife. That's a knife. It's always relevant. Sorry. Melvin's getting angry with me. Anyway, got him. The tracks are closer together. You know what? I can't remember what happens. I've only just finished watching this film and I forgot what happens. Do we see this alien again? I'm wondering now. Because other things happen now. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they forget about it. I don't know. Maybe there's a deleted scene. I don't know. Anyway, they ride into this canyon, but then they get waylaid by Walton Goggins and his gang. Here they are. And it turns out that this is the gang that Jake was the boss of. Because he sees him and goes, "Hello, boss." There we go. This your new gang, Jake? He punches him in the mouth. Did you break my tooth? Says, "You were always my favourite, Jake." He says, "We got, He asks how many men they've got. 30. So he says, "Take me to the camp." So they take him to the camp. It's where we learn that they've got a new leader. There he is. I've seen him in other things and I forgot who he is. Hang on. Let me see if I can find him. David O'Hara. What else have I seen him in? I'm going to find out. What else have I seen him in? He's been in Braveheart, Doomsday. That was a good film. I'd seen that for a while. A Neil Marshall film starring Rona Mitra and Bob Hoskins, of all people. But anyway, The Departed. Gotham. I might remember him from Gotham. But yeah, it's been a load of stuff. But probably Braveheart's probably his biggest thing he's done. Anyway, so there we go. But he's not a nice fella, he's a baddie. Is that the same canyon from The Big Country? I have no idea. Maybe so. They did mention... what is it now? I think it's a bit coming up. It's like an arroyo, a little gulch or whatever. That was in another film, and I forgot what they said that film, what film it was. Never mind. Look, maybe so. I don't know. I think this area that they filmed in has been used in a lot of westerns. The town and the surrounding New Mexico countryside. So maybe it is. I don't know. Let's have a look. See if it says on the filming locations. No, it doesn't say. Never mind. I've never seen The Big Country, by the way. I have seen Big Country live, the band. I've not seen the film or whatever it is. A film, a TV show, or both. I can't remember. Anyway, here he is. Dolan is called. He's taken over the gang. He's not a nice fella, so he's going to beat up Jake, and because he wants to know where the gold is, because he left the gang with all the gold, or with his portion of the gold or something, and he wants it back. With the threaten everybody. And they're calling Ella that naughty word there. But because he says, you left to go with, a hoe. Anyway, so they're going to beat him up, and but it's all going to go pear-shaped in a minute, because he's going to shoot him with his. Is it this bit? They go. Oh, right, yes. Killer, but then his thing activates. So obviously some aliens are coming, and then he shoots Dolan. So I presume Dolan's dead now. But then here they come. The aliens are going to come any minute now. After he beats up a few of the bad guys. Oh, aye. And then Walton Goggins. I don't know the name of his character. Let me check. Hunt. Comes running up, says, Jake, don't forget your gun. You were always my favourite. So for some reason, he really likes Jake for some reason. I don't know why, but even though he just punched him in the face, broken his tooth, but he really likes him for some reason. Anyway, so they're riding off, and here come the aliens. They're going to chase after them. There we go. Woo, 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 yee-haw. That's it. Very, very well shot. Here they come. Here come the aliens in their, I don't know, not spaceships. They're like drones, I suppose. But I think there are aliens in them. I think. I don't actually tell you, but I think it is. Well, he says, I doubt there's anywhere in the US that hasn't appeared in a Western. More than likely. Right, so here they come. So there we go. Here come the aliens, just shooting at them. I don't know what they're shooting at them for, but anyway, they are doing. And they're going to start roping them, rounding up some more people in there. It is cool stuff. And then one of them comes after. Oh, I shot it now. Look, I missed it. Look, one of them comes after Ella and Jake, but he does a cool stunt. He shoots it from under his horse, so that one's damaged now. But it still manages. I think it's this one. It still manages to get Ella, and Olivia Wilde actually did this stunt that we're going to see now. You can see it's not a stunt woman. Plucks her off the horse, and that is actually practically done. Not the alien machine thing, but they pulled her off the horse with what do they call them now? That like a rig where they can pull them up and down with them. It's all controlled, and they actually did that because apparently she's a really good horsewoman. Is Olivia Wilde? So there we go. She's been riding horses all her life. Well, not when she was a baby, obviously, but you know what I mean. So she's really good on horses and all that. So yes, they actually did that. So Jake's gonna go save her now, but remember this is damaged. Is this one? So it decides it's gonna fly low. And Jake can keep up with it on his horse, but this is where it's going to go into this arroyo. There we go, like a dry riverbed or whatever in it. So it's going to, for some reason, it's flying over there, so Jake can jump onto it. Which kind of reminded me of the Indiana Jones, the Last Crusade, where he jumps onto the tank. It's a bit like that. Here he comes. Whee! Leap! And he jumps onto it. Like so. Right, so they're flying about. It's trying to shake them off, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, they end up over some water. Here we see. I don't know if it's maybe there it is. Is it a river or a lake? I don't know. We're upside down. See if it shows us. No, it's not showing. Oh, there we go. Whatever. They end up over some water. Hang on, I've gone too far now. And he says, "Turn your head." Kate says, "Can you swim?" So he shoots into. He just puts his fist into the workings of the machine. Has it got an alien inside? It must have, because the first one that he shot down didn't it? Because it got out and killed people and ran off, didn't it? So I'm guessing this has as well. But anyway, we see that she's strapped to it with the rope thing. I don't know how many people they can gather up. Anyway, he shoves his hand in, shoots it. Look at it, didn't take his arm off. But anyway, there we go. They just fall into the water and they're fine. There we go, they're fine. Because they're falling in water and water doesn't hurt. But anyway. So they swim to shore. There we go. So, oh, and he's going, oh, we were flying. He's obviously never seen a hot air balloon, has he? But anyway. They're all laughing. They say, that was fun, wasn't it? A little moment together, but then the alien bursts out of the water. So, is this the one that they were chasing originally, or is this the one that were in that machine? Does it matter? I don't know, but it doesn't tell us. It's an alien. Because we don't know what happened to the one that they were chasing originally. Is this it, or is this the one? I don't know. Anyway. So it gets her, swipes her, she goes flying, and Jake shoots it. There we go, with his thingamabob. His pew pew thing. His pew pew paraphernalia. Just call her Wild Olivia. Yes. What else was she in? Oh, she were in Tron Legacy, wasn't she? That's from, I'm thinking, I've seen her in something else. I'm sure there's been loads of stuff, but yes, Tron Legacy, yes. That's where I'm remembering her from. So he's killed that one. So he runs over to her. Anyway, she dies. There we go. She's got a nasty injury, which looks very much like the injury he had earlier on. But anyway, whatever. So he picks her up and carries her to the others. He just magically knows where they are. Anyway, so off he goes. There we go. Don't know he knows where the others are. Maybe they've got a campfire and he's following the smoke. I don't know, but they could be anywhere, couldn't they? But anyway, so she dies. There you can see she's pale. She has passed away. They're all sad. Look, well he is. And anyway, suddenly they get captured by Injuns, by Apaches, because 1 minute they're talking, and then next minute, look, that's happening. When did this happen? I don't know. It's just all of a sudden. They're there. Look, never mind. It didn't all of a sudden. They're there, and then suddenly they're captured by Apaches and being beaten up and all that stuff. And they just get Olivia Wilde's body and just throw it on the fire. Like that. Just as though she's a Jawa. Look, just like 3PO throwing them Jawas on the fire. But don't worry, they've obviously been watching Game of Thrones, and she's going to do a Amelia Clark thing. I forgot the name of her character now. Danny, what's her face? Danny. Daenerys Targaryen. She's going to rise up and scare the Native Americans half to death, as well as the not Native Americans as well. This is where it's telling this what's left of the Chiri. So anyway, so they don't get on with the white people and all that stuff. But anyway, here she comes. Ooh, look, the fire goes. And out she comes. And apparently she was never in there. We see her here in the flames, but it's all a visual effect. Olivia Wilde's never actually in there. But do we get a glimpse? I'm seeing if we get a glimpse of her true form. Don't know. I can't really tell. So anyway, so out she pops, and there we go. We got to a naked Olivia Wilde, and there we go, in front of loads of Injuns. I know you can't call them that now, but it's a western, so you can. So they're all having a good gawk for a minute until Daniel Craig spoils things by putting a blanket round her. And this is where we learn that she's an alien, but not one of the other eight. She's a goody alien, whose people were, wiped out by the baddie ones. Anyway, so I didn't know if I could heal this body, and you had to wait for it to be burned, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm getting it's a good story for another time. Anyway. Right, so, what she's saying, she's speaking to him in Apache, telling him where she came from above the stars. Then she's telling him why the aliens have come. This is the exposition scene. They've come for the gold and other, the roundup people. And then they ask her, are our people dead? And she says, well, if not, there will be soon, but they don't kill them immediately. But anyway. And they says, we've got to stop them. They did this with us. Well, obviously, they didn't stop them in time. They'll come. This is just a scouting party. And if they let them go, they'll come back with more. So anyway. So we've all got to join together, the Native Americans and the white people. Oh, and she's saying, but they don't know where they are. And she says, he knows. And he goes, I don't know, I don't remember. So they're going to feed him some, I don't know, ayahuasca or something, I don't know, some DMT. So he's going to have a vision quest, is Daniel. So that's where we're going to see what happened to him. So off he goes. Oh man, a hummingbird appears. Here it is, a hummingbird. Because in the excuse me, when they were in the upside down paddle steamer, there were an owl, and John Favreau was saying in Native American culture, owls are often seen of like portents of doom or like bad spirits, like coyotes are bad spirits, apparently. But good spirits in the form of like hummingbirds and stuff. So this is a good spirit comes to see him. It's not the last time we'll see it. And Windgrace thinks he's Chakotay, Akuchimaya, spirits of my ancestors, hear me, and all that stuff. Anyway, so here it is. It's a good spirit come to say hello, and now he's going to remember. There we go, the good times. And but now we're going to see that she's lying there in the grass, but she's not in the grass. There we go. We see something's tugging on her, and then we're going to see what's happening. Look, they're in the alien spaceship. It goes all fire in the sky and all that stuff, which John Favreau does actually mention in the audio commentary. He does mention Fire in the Sky, that film, and based on the book Fire in the Sky, the Travis Walton alien abduction story. So that obviously inspired some of the scenes. And maybe the Red Mercury Rapids as well, maybe. Because I do have scenes where they are, chopping up stuff. But never mind. Anyway, there we see that basically they're eviscerating his wife. Does she have a name? Does it say? Let me check. Alice. Alice is her name. They're eviscerating Alice. They're basically taking out her organs and shoving them in jars while she's alive. And then they use some sort of snazzy laser beam thing, and it just dissolves her. There we go. Does that. Bzzz, turns her into ash. There we go. So she's dead. So his wife's dead. So anyway. Oh, and he's saying, I brought the gold into our house, and it's my fault that she's dead. And she's saying, you couldn't have known. I don't know why she's crying, because she can't see it, can she? Or is he projecting it up on a big screen for her to see it? I don't know, but anyway. And me. Or maybe he's just describing it really well. I don't know. Anyway, so the alien doctor, whatever he is, has done with her. Now he's going to move over to Jake, and we're going to see how he gets his injury. He's going to use this thing, and he shoves it inside Jake into there. That's how he got his injury there. But then Jake reacts. Oh, I also see, yes, I'll just mention, the alien has got... Oh, he's taking it off. It shows it earlier on. Let's go back. Back. There we go. The alien is wearing that thing on his wrist, so it can't be technology of her people, of what's her face? I forgot her name already. Ella. So why is this alien wearing it? I don't know, but anyway, he takes it off for reasons of the plot. See, he's got it on there, and he just puts it on the side there, right next to Jake's arm. Don't know what he's using it for, but obviously doesn't need it anymore, so he's just taking it off. Maybe it itches, I don't know. Let's put it on. And Beardy Brits is here. Hello, Beardy Brits. Excellent movie. I won't go that far. It's pretty good, though. I do like it. He's taking it off, put it there. And Jake sees it. And now he's going to get stabbed. There we go. And then he rips it out, and then he slashes the alien across the face. Oh, missed. There we go. So this alien is going to have a scar now, so we can recognise it later on. There we go. And his hand, there we go. His arm goes onto the wrist thing, and it closes up, and that's it. So that's where it is now. He can't get it off until he needs to get it off. Anyway, and he gets out. He runs away. There we go. He runs out of the wherever he is, and we see that he's in some sort of valley, and they've got a submarine. I know it's not. It's their ship, but there it is. And he says, "I know where they are. I must recognise the topography." I'm guessing. Beady Bricks loved it. It is a good film. I do like it. It's really good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having it on Magnificent Mondays. It's not the Monday Moan anymore, which was a series I did before this, briefly, where I did films I didn't like. Anyway, right, so here they come now. Our gang, which basically is just Apaches, and I think there's only Dollarhide, Nat, Doc, Emmett, and Ella left. Oh, Jake, obviously. So there's like 6 people left, I think. And I think that's all that's left out of all of what they left town with. But anyway, so here they are in this striking landscape. Here they are. And they find it. They find the does it show it before that? Do we get we've got a wide view of it? I say it looks like a conning tower off a submarine, doesn't it? But actually, it's their ship that they've just rammed into the ground. Because that's how they get the gold, apparently. And that's what she says. The rest is underground. That's how they get the gold, she says. Anyway. So, and said, we'll never get in there. Jake says, I know another way in, the way I got out. So, anyway, as they're watching, a couple of those planes arrive. We call them planes because they're not spaceships, they're like planes, aren't they? They arrive and we see that they fly inside. There they are, they fly inside there. Make sure we're still going, we're still okay. Yeah. Anyway, right, where was? So we see like a hangar there for them. Anyway, so they've got to work out a plan. There he sends another way in, the way I got out. And Dollarhide says, okay, well, you've got to go there, get our people out, but we've got to draw the aliens away so we can deal with them while you go in and save our people. And they say, well, you know, we're done for. And this fella, whose name I don't know, does he have a name? Just a minute. Black Knife he is called. Is the chief, the Apache chief. He borrows his telescope and he says, you know, Apaches are mountain warriors, and he's looking at all the surrounding hills and says, you know, we'll fight from the mountains and take them out and all that stuff. But Dollarhide say, no, we need to draw them out and surround them and all that. But they're not getting on. They were the mountain warriors. We fight from high ground because you've got to have the high ground, haven't you? But they tell him he's a fool. And then Emmett notices that Jake's buggering off. So Jake's leaving. So they all think, oh, he's a coward. But, you know, we know better than that, don't we? There we go. He's gone off to see Hunt and the others, his gang. Remember, there's about 30 of them. Anyway, so they're now counting up what money they've got left. This chap has taken, he says, I'm the new leader of this gang. And he's got really bad teeth here. Hang on, does it show it? But then when we see him again later on, he's got lovely pearly whites. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting. Anyway, they're having, you know, working out what to do. But then Jake arrives. Somebody's the dog stayed with. Oh, the dog's alive. Yes, the dog is alive. I just realised, yes, we thought it was dead, didn't we? Was it there earlier? I can't remember. It's just turned up again. We thought the alien got it in the upside down paddle steamer, didn't we? But it hasn't. It's fine. It's here, the dog, look. And Jake arrives, here he is, and tells them what they've got to do. They've got to go and deal with those aliens, because remember, some of them got taken by the aliens as well, so they're getting it to leave. And it says, you know, we can't, we've got to, they'll find us wherever we go. That's what he's saying, so we've got to go and deal with them. I'm in charge now, and all that stuff. So they're going to go. But they're working out back at base, they're working out what to do. They've got to draw them out into open ground and, surround them. And Black Knife says, well, why can you tell me what to do? You've only got like 3 people with you and I have all mine. But then Jake arrives with his 30. But meanwhile, before that, Nat is talking in Apache to Black Knife, and he's telling him all about Dollarhide and what honourable man he is, and he's a great warrior and all that stuff. And there we go. That he raised him and gave him purpose, and this is a little thing that shows that they're going to have a rapprochement at the end as Dollarhide and Nat. Remember, Nat sees him as a father figure, but Dollarhide doesn't see him as a son. He's got a son who's an idiot. But anyway, so they have that little meeting, and nothing comes of it. But then Jake arrives. Here we go with his gang. There we go. So they've got lots of people now to be killed by aliens. So that's what they're gonna do. So the Apaches are having a party, and all that. Pardon me. There we go. So, yep, having a cool time, and Doc and this fella seem to get on for some reason. Don't know why, they just do. And I think they're going to share a kiss, because he now knows his wife's dead. So he's thought, well, might as well kiss this alien, because she looks like Olivia Wilde. Right, so here they go. They're riding in to get the aliens. Right, so first plan, they're going to, I think the night before it showed them getting ready. It showed them like sticks of dynamite and stuff like that. So they're going to bomb it. We're going to bomb the hangar. They're going to climb up. It's a good job, these aliens don't have like CCTVs or, some sort of external defences. But she does say, I think earlier on, she does say that they underestimate us. They think, we are but the buzzings of flies to them, and so they don't think we're worthy of much attention. So maybe that's why they have no external defences. But anyway, whatever. So they're climbing up. It's a good job it's not smooth. It's a nice, lumpy, lots of stuff attached so they can climb up in it. Up they go. And he drops his matches. He says, give me a match to light the dynamite with, the fuse. And he drops his matches. And he says, oh, no, I dropped them. We'll have to go down. But he's got a cigarette. Look, a cheroot. He's got a cheroot. So he grabs that. I keep meaning to check my notes for the, bit of trivia, and I keep forgetting, don't I? Let's just have a look a minute. By the way, it was supposed to be in 3D, this film. The producers and stuff, or the studio, or whatever, kept saying, we want this in 3D. And they did some tests, but the cinematographer, I can't remember who the director of cinematography is. I've never heard of him. I'll tell you in a minute. Matthew Libertique. Apparently he's worked with John Favreau a few times. But they did some tests and stuff, because it was filmed on location, mostly. They found that the 3D cameras were, difficult to use, lots of cabling and stuff, because they were digital, weren't they? And I think, did they shoot it on film, this? I think they said, no, but it's going to be a regular film in 2D. Yes, they need to put together some sort of rudimentary lathe and work out what the aliens, what is their motivation. What was I saying? Oh, yes, I was checking my notes, wasn't I? And so it's going to be 3D. What else? Daniel Craig recommended Eva Green for the role of Ella after working with her in Casino Royale, but Green turned down the role. I wouldn't mind seeing Eva Green all wet, when they came out of that water. That'd be nice, because she's a bit more shapely than Olivia Wilde. Olivia Wilde's lovely, but, she's a bit of an ironing board, isn't she? Anyway. What else? Dollarhide and Taggart are named after movie villains from Red Dragon, 2002, Ray Fiennes as Francis Dolarhyde, and Blazing Saddles, 1974, Slim Pickens played Taggart. There we go. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, I think that's about it. So, right. Back to the film. He uses the cheroot to light the fuse, and then just chucks it in. They've got 2 bags, by the way. Just chucks them in, look like that. There we go. Not very far in, by the look of it. It's a good job also they have some like automatic, fire suppression system. You think the sprinklers come on instantly, but no, because the plot would not allow for that. So they climb back down. There we go. They climb back down. The things go din 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 din. So they go running off, and then it goes. We get an almighty kaboom. There we go. An earth-shattering kaboom. There it goes, and then takes out the hanger. Look, blimey. So yay! But obviously, it is a short-lived victory because they're going to start shooting at him now. I think some of these fellas here explode in a spray of red. They will. That fella there, look. They're shooting at him. Kind of reminds me a little bit. I know it doesn't look anything like it, but I'm kind of reminded where the aliens are inside shooting out. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Black Fortress from Krull. But anyway, that's a better film in my opinion. Have we done that? I will have to dig it out. Anyway, so they're all getting got. So people are blowing up left, right, and centre. By the way, Emmett has been sent up onto like a rock out of the way, and being told when our people come out, wave your arms. And he's got the telescope thing, spyglass, because that's what he's looking at through there. Or is this Dolarhyde? I can't remember. Oh no, it's Dolarhyde, isn't it? Anyway, that was what he's saying to him now. He's saying, go up there when you see our people, wave your arms, because there we go. Off he goes with the dog. So they're going to draw the fire of the aliens because they're all going to come running out now, and Jake's heading into the tunnel that goes underneath the ship. So anyway, here come the aliens. Look, just killing them left, right, and centre. They're shooting them and firing others at them. It's not slowing them down. Anyway, he's heading in. Look, with Olivia Wilde. Sorry, Ella. And here we go. And it's showing us how they get the gold out. Look, they're just sucking it out of the earth, melting it and sucking it up. So we'll see that again later. Here they are. Look, firing others at them. Look, ba-doing. Makes it stagger, but it's fine. This Mexican fella gets hurt. Remember that says suddenly friendly with Doc all of a sudden, but it's a flesh wound. He's fine. There we go. Get fighting again. Anyway, so we're losing badly. It seems. All right. Somebody says there. Look, they're not going down, and because it's Harrison Ford, he says they will keep at it till we get our people out. But, not a massive army they've got, but they're just bloody cannon fodder, essentially, aren't they? Anyway, look, people are dying left, right, and centre. Look, blows him up off his horse. And here we go. Look, they've roped that one. It's like Valley of Guanji. They've roped that one, but I don't think he stays roped for very long. No, because he's going to... I think he kills the horse, I think. Does he? Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else. Oh, is this Nat? Is it? Yes, this is Nat. Nat saved, because it we're going to get... what's his face? Dolarhyde. The alien were going to get him, so Nat roped it, pulled it off, and now it's gone... Getting Nat, look, and it bites him. So Dolarhyde shoots it, but it's not doing anything. Look, it's run out of bullets now. But it's the tables are going to turn now, because this we've seen bullets just bounce off them, but then suddenly, pff, there we go. That alien's dead. Thanks to Doc. Yay! Finally can shoot straight. Yay! Anyway, so this is where we start killing them now, but not before Nat dies. There we go. And it says, what does he say now? He says, yeah, we got one. And then I actually got a bit emotional watching this earlier on. It says, I always dreamed of riding into battle with you. And then he says, I always dreamed of having a son like you. Ah! So anyway, see him getting choked up now. And then he dies. So he's lost a son. Luckily, he's got an idiot one ready by the end of the film. Anywho, I said it. So, right, so this is now where, we're going to start killing them now. Just because we couldn't before, but now we can really easily. Look, they get this one up straight away with a spear. Just killing them, stabbing them, and sorting them out. Now they die really easily because we're getting to near the end of the film. Right, anyway, so they're in these tunnels. Right, they find the people. There we go, the townsfolk. Pardon me. They've got them in the deadlights, aren't they, like on it? They're all looking up at a bright light. It's made their eyes go white. It's like, it's Pennywise has got them. And she says, don't look at the light. So the first thing he does, he looks at the light. Because it's not the sharpest tool in the box, is he? And she says, there's another flashback of him and his missus being there. And she shoots it. There we go. She shoots it, does Ella. There we go. And she says, I told you not to look in the light. And then they all start coming round now. They go and free them, and their eyes go back to normal. And he says, will they be all right? And she says, it's different for everyone. So I'm on about the memories and stuff like that. And Winggrace, Winggrace, the Foothold Aliens. From Stargate. Yeah, yes. Because they took over, didn't they, and all that. But they had holographic things or something, didn't they? Scottish Geek guys here. Howdy, fella. Jimmy. I've seen this when it came out in the cinema. I remember nothing. The theatrical version's not very good. I remember seeing it. I think I rented it on Blockbuster or whatever. Well, Blockbuster's still going then. I think it was. When it first came out. And I didn't like it. But then the extended version came out, and I think it re-edited it a bit. There's some extra scenes, and I think they'd re-edited some bits and bobs. And it's like a different film. It's really good. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes, she says it's different for everybody. So some will get their memories back straight away. Some it'll take a little bit of time, but they'll be fine. And anyway, so right, what's happening now? I've forgotten. She's got to get them out. There we go. Each one's different. And the aliens coming. So he's going to go deal. There you go. Hold them off. So she's getting them free. So he's going to go and fight some aliens. There we go, like that. Right. So anyway, she comes in and says that they're all out. While he's dealing with some more aliens. There we go. Look, we see molten gold splattering about. Got to remember that for later. Look, more aliens coming. Look, they're just throwing themselves out of their spaceship. There's more of them coming. Anyway, right. So more aliens. And anyway, so they're going to deal with them. There we go. So they're going to have a minute, and she says, "I need you need to give me the bracelet in a minute." He takes out this alien, blows it up. He's got I'm sure earlier on he had all bad teeth, but now he's got all pearly whites. But never mind. And the alien blows himself up as well. I think he did. But then an alien's going to come and get him now. Look, an alien's headed for Emmett. Here it comes. Any second now. There it is. Look. Let me check. Make sure we ain't got a copyright claim. Strike, should I say. Probably will later. Here it comes. It's going to come and get him. Remember we saw him earlier on when he dropped his knife and it got its funky hands out. That's going to happen again. in a minute. But he's going to hide in a crevice, or is it a crevasse? No, this is a crevice. A crevasse is a big deep hole, isn't it? This is a crevice. So here it comes. Shock, scary thing. Jump scare. Anyway, it can't reach him, so it can't reach him with his arms. So, look. So it's going to try with its little arms. So is it like him off Scary Movie? Gonna get you with my strong arm. Is it that? Yeah. So it can't get him with its big long arms. So it's going to like shove its chest in. There we go. And use its little squidgy arms with its heart beating behind. But it's going to remember now. Look, it's trying to grab hold of him. And then we see its heart beating there. Look. Bad evolutionary design, isn't it? So he's going to get his knife out. And, hang on, I've missed it now. There we go. Stabs it right in the heart and it dies. There we go. So, they're badly designed aliens, aren't they? Anyway. Right, so... oh, she's there. Right, so I need it to destroy that thing, she says. He says, I can't take it off. He says, you can, you've just got to not think of anything. What? How do I take it off? Same way you shoot it, with your mind. Open your mind. But you have to stop thinking, which is not hard for me. It probably never stay on me if you have to stop thinking to make it work. I'd never be able to fasten it. Anyway, but he can't. It's not working. So she kisses him, and that stops him thinking for some reason. I don't know, because it just drops off his arm like that. Look. Boing. I don't understand. I don't know. But anyway, why didn't it fall off his arm? Because they kissed earlier on, didn't they? Didn't fall off his arm then, but I suppose he kissed her, didn't he? Whatever. Anyway, but she seems to know all about it, because she picks it up. Hang on, is it going to show it? And she starts doing stuff. There we go. She's pressing buttons and stuff, and she seems to know all about it. And so, is it their technology, or is it the baddie alien technology? I don't know. Wingrace says all the blood left his brain this time. Yes, and went somewhere else. Oh dear. So anyway, it's off they go. Apparently it's a super explosive as well. Right, so... right, she gives it back to him, so thankfully it doesn't clamp onto his arm again. No, she's giving it back, because she's going to jump across. Like, why did she just, shove it in a pocket, or... Why don't she just put it on, and then, if they're that so easy to take off again. But anyway, she jumps over. There we go, she jumps over. And he says, throw it to me. And I'd been thinking... Oh no, that's buggered, because I'm rubbish at throwing. I can throw, but I'm just not good at throwing it in accurate directions. But anyway, there you go. She climbs up, throw it, and there we go. Hang on, there we go. So he throws it, and there we go. She catches it, and she says, "Goodbye, Jake," and off she goes. And the door closes behind her, and he's like, "What? Ella!" Anyway, then explosion. There we go. And he's going to get attacked now in a minute. He's going to find himself in the lab where he was earlier on. He's running for his life. Meanwhile, look, we're dealing with aliens, and look, they're dropping like flies now, the aliens. And then we see the other people, they're coming out, he's waving, look, he's Emmett saying, "Our people are here, yay!" And he says, "Do you see Percy?" "Yes, he's there." There we go. He says, "Yes, he's there." "What about Jake and Ella?" "No, can't see them." Ella's climbing up inside the ship. She's climbing up. An alien's chasing her. Do they have a name for these aliens? I don't know. I don't know. They're just called aliens. I don't know. No, they're just called aliens. As in Cowboys and Aliens. I just wondered if they had a name, or a descriptive name, or a whatever. Right, so anyway, yes, he's back in this, we'll call it a lab, where he was earlier on, with his wife. And we see that they've got a gold thing there, sucking gold up out of the ground. There we go, we see piles of clothes from all the people that this alien's dissected, I presume, and lots of gold watches and glasses and coins and stuff like that. I suppose this is supposed to be reminiscent of, the Holocaust, in it, I suppose. Oh, there's a doll there to show that they've even got a child, because they're that evil, these aliens. Anyway, for some reason, this table over here just starts showing a holographic display of him for some reason, and I don't know why. It shows him on the table. But then the alien arrives. This is the one that he got, the scarred alien. Shoves him on the table. And I think it's going to basically do to him what he did to it. Because he gets this again, and it like shows its face in a minute. Hang on, there we go. It shows its face. It's like saying, you did this to me, I'm going to do it to you. And it's about to do it, but then it gets shot. Here we go. Because Dollarhide's arrived, yay! So he's shooting at it. Because remember, now bullets can hurt him, unlike earlier. Wing race. Cue Goldfinger theme. Yes, just as Dollarhide comes in. Dun, 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 dun. So he's shooting at it, and then it turns round. Hang on, there we go. And now he's shooting. He's picked up. When we saw all the clothes and jewellery and stuff, there's also a pile of weapons and that. So he's picked up a shotgun, not a rifle in it. Picked up a rifle. Quest knows exactly what sort of rifle that is. I reckon it's a Springfield. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or maybe a Winchester. I don't know. Anyway, shooting it and driving it back, and it falls onto the gold. Gold. You crazy alien bastard. Anyway, it falls onto the gold, and then he shoots the thing up there, and then it drops all the gold on top. Just another. You could say it's another Game of Thrones thing, isn't it? We saw earlier on she came out of the fire, didn't she? Like Khaleesi. And now this one's got a crown of gold like Khaleesi's brother did. But anyway, so here we go. Or is it like Smaug? I don't know. But anyway, it's dead. It's dead. It's had molten gold stuck on it. All right, and then it ends because they're not quite dead. And this is the bit we're on about, is straight out of the TV series War of the Worlds. Because in that, the aliens, which weren't Martians, could take over people and live inside them, and sometimes they would pop out, and it would show one of the main visual cues in the series was people with squidgy alien arms popping out, and that's what happens here. Like that. And that is exactly, well, not exactly, but pretty much what it looked like in War of the Worlds. I think they've ripped it off because it's Alex Kurtzman. It's just on my eyes. Or maybe they don't even realise it. Maybe they think, oh, that looks familiar. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, so it says, where's Ella? She's in that thing. So I think they're going to try and get her. But there we go, that's what they're asking. But then it all starts exploding, and we see that the ship's going to start taking off, so they've got to run out. There we go. Pardon me. Look, the ship's taking off now. She's still climbing up inside, being chased by another alien. They go running out. They come running out. We see it's taking off. Look, with its little teeny tiny rockets. Look, it must be more powerful than what they look. Anyway, but off it goes. And she gets to where she needs to go. She's underneath the Omega-13, I'm guessing. Because she looks up there. Yes, she's underneath the Omega-13. And we see there's loads of aliens coming out of these cocoons and stuff. So I don't know what's going on there. It must be the Dorm or something, because we see him. Anyway, the alien behind us coming. Look, here it comes. Anyway, but she's got she's got that, and she does something and hugs it, and it explodes. And kind of a bit like the Predators countdown thing going on there, isn't there? Or she should start laughing, shouldn't she? Doing that. The alien species is the casts. Is that what they call them? Oh, right, fair enough. I didn't find that out. Anyway, Thank you. I wonder what they called them that for. I don't know. That's a reference. The Omega-13. Yes, it is a Galaxy Quest reference. If you didn't catch it, fortunately, we don't go back in time 13 seconds, as far as I know. But anyway, so she hugs that, and then it blows up. There we go. Boom! And takes out the Omega-13. I don't know what else to call it. I'm guessing it's the reactor or something. I don't know. But it blows the ship up. There we go. It does a Challenger. So that blows up. There we go. So that's the end of that. So I'm guessing they won't come back. Well, they didn't, did they? They never came back, did they? Or will they? Wondering what happened to our scouts. Maybe they just think, well, our scouts never came back and we lost contact with them, so we won't go there again. Maybe, I don't know. But they obviously know that Ella's dead. She has sacrificed herself to save us. And anyway, so they're going. All the loved ones are reunited. There we go. Percy, I'm your father. No, that's not true. And anyway, so he's back with his wife. I had to look, actually. I'm thinking, is she Anna de Armas? I thought, but it's not. It's nothing like her, does it? But she's called Anna. What's she called? I've forgotten already. Anna de la Reguera. There we go, that's who plays Doc's wife. Anyway, so they're all reunited and all happy, and he goes riding out. He goes to visit his homestead once more with a bunch of flowers. Because remember, his wife liked wildflowers, so I don't know. Maybe it's an offering. I don't know, but he's brought them. And then he sees the hummingbird comes back. I don't know, is this Ella? You know, like when you see robins. They always say when you see a robin after somebody's passed away, they always say that's that person coming to check up on you. Is that what this is with this hummingbird? I don't know. Melvin says you would think they would send a scout to find out what happened to the scouts. Yes, you would think that, wouldn't you? Maybe they were gonna, because there was supposed to be a sequel apparently, but because this film didn't do very well, all that was quashed, wasn't it? Anyway, the hummingbird has a flutter about and then flies off. So, and then he smiles, thinking, "Oh, that's Ella, is that? Or is it his wife? Or is it both of them? I don't know." But he has a smile and leaves, and everybody in the town's having a good time. Everybody's super rich now, by the way, because they've all got loads of gold. Maybe they must have gone into the tunnels and just picked it all up, and maybe it all came falling out of the sky with all the other wreckage. Big gobbets of gold. But anyway, so there we go. They've got big lumps of gold. Look, and he says, "What am I?" I forgot what it says now. What you got there? Wells Fargo. This ain't Wells Fargo. He wants coin. Anyway, Percy wants a drink for him and Emmett, so they have sarsaparillas. I have no idea what a sarsaparilla is. But they have sarsaparillas. And he pays him. He throws some coins on the bar. Says this should cover my tab. Because remember, when he was naughty, Percy, he was drinking for free because he wasn't a nice lad, was he? And now he is. He is a changed man. So there we go. So thank you kindly, Percy. Anyway, so Dollarhide comes in and says, "Percy, I want you a minute." And then he says, "Next round's on the Dollarhides," because everybody's nice now. Even the bad people or even the grumpy people are all nice. Because it's a nice place now. And because of the gold, he's saying the railroad will be coming through here soon. The town's going to change and grow and everything. It says to Percy, so our business is going to have to change. So he gives him some ledgers. Says, "Go to the bank with these ledgers and tell them we need some new checks, and I want Dollarhide and Son printed on them." And so there we go. So now he's happy. Meanwhile, the sheriff and the dog are just chilling. And here comes. I think he's actually come to give himself up. He doesn't say that. But I think that's what he's doing. He's come to face justice, I think. Riding in as Jake. And then Dollarhide says, It says I'm a wanted man. And he says I could have swore I saw Jake Lonergan die in those caves, and the sheriff agrees. Didn't you, sheriff? Damn shame. I was looking forward to hanging him myself. So he's off the hook. They're going to let him go. So off he goes. Oh, and he offers him a job. Does Han Solo, but he can't. Change the compressor, whatever it is. So he leaves. He goes riding off into the sunset. And the dog. I thought the dog were going to go with him because he sets off, and the dog goes ooh. And I was watching it today, and I was thinking, does he whistle? Does he like go? And the dog goes running after him, but no, the dog just stays there. So it just showed the dog watching him leave and thinking, nah, I'm happy here with the sheriff, because he goes riding off into a fade to black, and that's the end of the film. A really good film. Not amazing, but really good. There's no end credits, so never mind. But yes, it's a film that's well worth watching, and I think a lot of people, it gets a bad rap. I'm trying to find a good thing to pause it on. Oh, that'll do. The Dead Lights. It gets a bad rap, and I think the title puts a lot of people off, because that's it. That's the one. Yes, you can't bypass the compressor. That's it. Hang on. I think I've just had a chat burst. Just loads of chats have come in all at once. Winger says that's what cardinals are here. Oh, like robins. Yes, when I were on about robins earlier on. Is it cardinals? Yes. Which are going to be in this. Speaking of Steven Spielberg, he's got that film coming out soon, hasn't he? Disclosure Day, which seems, is it a sequel to Close Encounters? Because there's some shots in it that look like the UFOs from Close Encounters to me. But anyway, that's got cardinals in, hasn't it? Anyway, the sequel is on IMDb. I don't think they're going to make one. There's a lot of things on IMDb. And now the Vogons show up. A few years later, because Earth's got to be demolished to make way for a hyperspace bypass. A sarsaparilla, is it similar to root beer? Right, fair enough. Root beer is I'm sure we've talked about this before. I'm getting very, deja vu. Sassafras root and sarsaparilla is the sarsaparilla root. I think we have talked about this before. I must have done another Western at some point. Yes, you can't bypass the compressor, right? All them chats just all appeared all at once. What was I saying? I forgot. Never mind. But yeah, it's a good film. I do enjoy it. That's it. It didn't get. I think it's one. I was saying the title put people off, didn't it? Cowboys and Aliens. It's kind of a goofy title, isn't it? But it's not done. It were originally. Yes, we're all caught up now. It was originally going to be a comedy. The original script and stuff were like more light-hearted and comedic, according to Jon Favreau. But they decided to go another way. So Jon Favreau says, "I wouldn't have taken the job if they would have gone with that script." So they went with a more serious route, and it's a better film for it. I think. It is a decent Western, and it's a decent sci-fi, but there are bits in it that you're thinking, what? I don't get it. But you haven't to it's one of those films that you haven't to overthink it. But it is an entertaining film. But it didn't do well, so we're not going to get a sequel. But never mind anyway. The aliens are pretty cool, but not a good evolutionary design, are they? With those little goofy arms, but never mind. Right, so there we go. So give it a whirl anyway. It is a good film. It is it's available on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's out on 4K. I don't know. I don't get 4Ks very often. I can't really tell much difference between a 4K and a Blu-ray, but I've got crappy eyes, so that's me. Melvin says, it's like someone made a World War I alien movie. Oh wait, they did No Man's Land. I've not seen that one. I've not even heard of it, to be honest. I'll have to look that one up. Sounds interesting. Oh, hang on. Have I seen it? Did I mention it? No, I might have done. I can't remember. Anyway, so there we go. So yes, it is available. It's beyond Amazon, I suppose, and all them places and all that stuff. So yeah, so we'll leave it there. Oh, but it that one? Oh, but it like that fan film? Yes, it was a fan film, wasn't it? Yes. Harry Turtledove was a whole series where aliens invade during World War II. Who the hell's Harry Turtledove? Anyway, I'm probably showing my ignorance there. I really, genuinely am. Anyway, right, so we'll leave it there. What's coming up next? What are we on? What day are we on now? Monday, aren't we? I don't even know what day it is. What's happening on Wednesday? Watch Party Wednesday this week. I think you've mentioned him before. Yes, famous author. I think you have mentioned. I'm sure we've done another Western or something where all this sarsaparillas and Harry Turtledove's been mentioned before. I'm sure it has. Right, it's alternate history. All right. It's Tuesday, is it? Bloody hell, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is Tuesday now. Here it's Tuesday, but for over the pond, it's still Monday. Wednesday, Watch Party Wednesday, we're doing The Sword and the Sorcerer this week from 1982. A cool film that I was surprised to find on YouTube. It's freely available to watch on YouTube, so that's what we're watching. I'll have to still obscure the screen, but whatever. We can watch it on YouTube. You have to watch along. Unless you've got your own copy, then fair enough. But if you haven't, it's on YouTube. So that's on Wednesday, and on Friday, I haven't got the discs out. On Friday, because it's Friday the 13th, we're doing the whatever's next. Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter for Friday Night Appointment with Fear. I haven't got my disc out. It's over there. So that's that. And I don't know what I'm doing next week yet. I haven't decided. Winger says, for me, it was Tuesday. Was it? Anywho, right, so we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. So thanks, Wingrace and Melvin and Justin and Beardy Brits and Jimmy at Scottish Geek Guy. Go and subscribe to Quest RRC, a Scottish Geek Guy, and Wingrace Project. And Beardy Brits. I don't know if Beardy Brits has got a channel. I will have to check. If he has, I will go and subscribe. Anybody else pop in? Oh, and we had Josh Temple as well, and Tim Rose as well popped in to say hello. So there we go. Thank you to all you lot for keeping me company while I waffle on about Cowboys and Aliens. Oh, is that a quote? Fair enough. I don't know. Oh, from the Street Fighter movie, the old one, the Jean-Claude Van Damme one, which I think I did see when it first came out, but I can't remember anything about it. That's on Friday, yes. Yes, so we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. I can go now. And blimey, 12:15. It's because I started late, isn't it? Right, so thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. And until next time... Hang on, where are we? I've got to get me thinking there. Till next time... I'm sure I've forgotten something. I'm going to say something else. Never mind. Hang on, check the comments again. See if anybody reminds me. Yeah, between the Ming Na Wen and Raoul Julia. Oh, Street Fighter movie, right. What? Yeah. Right. Yeah, cheers, Melvin. Right. Thank you, guys. I'm going now. So thanks for watching. I'll say it again. And until next time, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say they.